very warm welcome to Bharata First. I'm Pereira. This is FRP Explains. So, why aren't the foreign vaccines, especially the US ones in India, despite all the efforts that have been made by the government to reach out to other governments, including the United States? The External Affairs Minister was in the United States for a 5-day trip. Still, those vaccines are not here. Why is that so? There are several reasons for it, and I'm going to take you through them right now. What are the vaccines first and foremost? Let's list them out. There's Moderna, there's Johnson & Johnson, and there's the Pfizer vaccine along with BioNTech. Now, these vaccines have been rolled out in the United States and other countries as well, and the results have been reasonably good. Now, India has been trying to procure these vaccines, and despite several things that have been said by the government and in the open domain, it doesn't look like we're going to get these vaccines anytime soon. Why? Because several of the logistical issues and supply chain aspects need to be worked out first. We don't have that in place. Once that is worked out, there is another challenge. The vaccines, especially Moderna and Pfizer, need to be stored at sub-zero temperature levels, at very low temperature levels, and we don't have the cold storage chains right now in place to try and get those vaccines here. Moderna has already committed to vaccines around the world and has said that it can supply a vaccine, a single dose vaccine that it is currently working on, only next year. So it doesn't look like those Moderna vaccines, the double dose ones, will come to India anytime soon. Then there is the issue of Johnson & Johnson. Now, Biological E, the Hyderabad-based company in India, has decided to roll out the J&J vaccines, I think 1 billion of them sometime in the near future. But J&J has run into several issues back in the US. It was approved for emergency use, then pulled down because of blood clotting issues. Now it is being used once again. So all these kind of aspects need to be looked at. Finally, coming to Pfizer. Now, Pfizer was interested initially to supply vaccines, I think 5 crore of them to India, but then there were several other issues that it did not want to comply with, and hence there's a lot of back and forth with regards to the Pfizer vaccine. First and foremost is the indemnity clause, where Pfizer says that it does not want to be liable if there are any kind of side effects as a result of their vaccine to Indians here in India, and they do not want to be held accountable for that. That is one. And they have also given a justification stating that their vaccines have been rolled out around the world very successfully and there have been no serious side effects. So why should they get into an agreement where they'll have to be liable for something like this? They said that they have gotten into an indemnity clause with the UK and US and other countries where it is rolled out as well. So it doesn't want to go ahead, doesn't want to be held liable in India. Secondly, as far as the Indian vaccines are concerned, and India has made it very clear, even with Sputnik as well as Covaxin and Covishield, there were trials that were held, and only after a trial did they go ahead and administer these vaccines or approve these vaccines as a whole. Now, India, when it reached out to other countries from around the world to get their vaccines here, said that a 7-day trial period will be undertaken. The first 100 people who receive the vaccine will be put under trial and observation for 7 days, and only then they will carry on with the vaccination. This is something that Pfizer doesn't want to do, and hence this issue has now arisen. Whether we will get these vaccines anytime soon or not remains to be seen, but it doesn't look like, because of all these challenges that are there, that we will see these vaccines being rolled out in the near future. Right now we have Covishield, Covaxin and Sputnik, and we need many more, because with the population size of India, these 3 vaccine providers are not going to be enough. The more vaccine providers that we get will be better for us as a whole to try and address this pandemic. But unfortunately, there is no silver lining in sight right now. We hope that these issues are sorted out sometime in the near future and the entire nation gets the vaccines, and the entire world actually gets these vaccines, because we all need them, and only after we get them will we be maybe relatively safe from the pandemic. I'm not saying we'll be fully safe, because there have been several cases of people getting the COVID-19 disease after taking the vaccination as well. So the efficacy of all these vaccines needs to be tested out and needs to be looked at too. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of FRP Explains. If you like the content, please like the video, subscribe, hit the bell icon and then all notifications For those of you who would like to come forward and make a contribution, you may do so by using our UPI IDs. A small contribution that you make will go a long way in us bringing you this content. That's it from me. See you again next time.